Welcome. Special edition of the Running Journey. I'm pumped to be here with the guy that I just ran 2 legs with. He's chuckling because he knows I'm going to ask him how tough today was. But I'm Rob Tatro, host of the Running Journey. My brother's not here today, the other participant in the Running Journey, because I'm live in New Brunswick, running across New Brunswick. I'm doing 13 marathons in 13 days, and today was day 5, and today I ran with James O'Brien. I should say yesterday I ran with James O'Brien. Today's day 6.
Hello,
and yesterday, James, welcome to the show. Great to have you here.
Thanks for having me, Rob.
All right.
Very happy to be here.
You're in Toronto, so you flew in to support me. Now, you were a runner back in the day. Like, you ran track, you did a 400, you did 800s, you did a 121 half marathon.
121, yeah, that was a few years ago now. So maybe 12 years ago, the Manitoba half marathon ran a 121. So we ran that one, never ran it again. Just wanted to make sure I got a time that my friends wouldn't be able to reach, which I think one of them has actually broken it now, unfortunately. But that was the goal.
I can tell you, when you told me that time, I was like, he's wrong. There's no way he ran a 121. Because you were like, I'm a half decent runner. I think back in the day I ran a 121. I was like, no, you didn't, James. You ran a 141 maybe. Like,
no faith.
And I had no faith. And then you had to like pull it up on your phone and send me the screenshot of the results.
I still have it for guys like you.
I don't think I know anyone who ran, like, to this day. Like, I kind of know people on Strava that are really elite athletes, but I don't really know them. I think you have the fastest half marathon time out of anyone I know.
Well, thank you. Yeah.
Aside from my coach.
A few years ago, but I do try to tell people about it still.
And I mean, you came pretty close to that time in your second leg today, right?
The second or the first?
I'm getting into a joke here because James killed the first one, did a 155.
Yeah. Well, we're going at a good pace.
Yeah, good pace. And then didn't quite have it in the second leg. You ran, what'd you run? A 251, 254.
Yeah.
So you were a fit guy. You go to the gym, right? A lot?
Yeah. Well, that was a little bit of a pride check, I guess you'd say. Because I try to go to the gym, run on the treadmill.
No, but wait. To be clear, what you did is impressive. Like, I'm not trying to, like, I'm joking with you, but I have a ton of respect for what you did. You got on a plane.
Oh, thank you.
First off, you cut a check to sponsor my thing. You got on a plane. You came. Yes. You said, Rob, I said, I have nobody to run this day. And you said, I'll do both. And I was like, wow, that's unbelievable. So I have a ton of respect for that. You said, like, I haven't trained. I'm not able to. But I said, I think you could do it. So I have a ton of respect for what you did. What I'm trying to get at is it's hard to do what you did. Like, it is very, very hard.
No, I appreciate it. It's worthy cause. Number one, I was happy to be there. But the legs were definitely feeling it. My God.
How are you feeling today, the day after?
You know what? When I got what kills is the getting out of bed this morning when I heard you getting ready for your next marathon. The legs were a little tight, and then just sitting on the plane was a little rough. The IT bands I'd say that's the worst. The IT bands walking, not even upstairs, is coming down the stairs is the killer for me.
Yeah. Are you doing like the one hand on the side and kind of walking down?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I look probably 30 years older than I actually am, unfortunately. Right
so that means you battled. That means you battled, obviously.
Oh yeah, we tried. Well, as I told you, mile 7 or 8 of that second leg, I was like, how am I going to tell them that I need to quit? But I powered through, thankfully.
So okay. So the first one, we go down, and you're like, I feel good, and you're obviously a great athlete, and you're obviously able. Like, I don't know many people who could just get on a plane and run a 155. Like, I don't know anyone who could do that. So you ran a 155 and like pretty consistent time, except at the end, you pushed a little bit. You did the last couple miles. And I want to tell one quick story too. Yeah, I stopped to use the washroom at mile 2 or 3. And I said, James, we're running 9-minute miles. Can you just continue at this pace and I'll catch up to you? I'll run an 8-minute mile and I will catch up in 20 seconds or 30 seconds, or sorry, half a mile or quarter mile or whatever. And you went, and like, I wasn't gaining on you. I was running 8-minute miles and you were just way ahead of me. So then I was like, okay, so now I have to run 7-minute. I had to run a 7-minute mile to catch up to you, because you did an 8, because you're like I think I'm going the same pace. And you were just zooming down there.
Yeah, you know what? That's the one thing I remember saying that to you. You're a very good pacemaker for sure. You kept me in line. I'm not very good at doing that, so I probably got ahead of myself there in that
Well,
one.
plus you don't run, like you don't run a ton or at all really. So for you to, how would you know what an 8 minute mile is or a 7 minute mile? You wouldn't know. Like you don't have a watch, you didn't know. So anyways,
True.
the point of my story is towards the end, there was maybe 3 miles left and you're like, man, I feel so good. You're like, I feel so good. And I kind of said something like, maybe you should take it easy here because you're gonna easily, because one of your goals was to break 2, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
But like you were easily gonna do that. You were way ahead of that. So I was like, maybe we take it easy and save it for the second leg. You're like, nah, feeling good, feeling good. And you blitzed like a 155, right? You went pretty hard at the end.
Yeah,
And
I
then,
wanted to open up the stride a little towards the end.
well, you have a stride. Like clearly, you're a 400-meter runner and 800-meter runner, and like, yeah, you were doing like 49 seconds or whatever you're doing in the 400 meters there, 51 seconds, whatever you're saying. It's like that's ridiculously, obscenely fast.
Yeah.
And then we're sitting on the Pembroke Community Hall lawn there, and just outside the motorhome, and you're wearing my Normatec legs, and I'm like, "You'll be ready to go here in 20 minutes?" Yeah, I think so. I think so. And I think it was like
Little did I know.
the first mile. I think you're like, "Holy shit! I think we want to walk here for a bit."
Yeah, exactly. In the first 3 or 4 minutes, I was like, "Whoa, this is not what I remember."
the
Legs
last
and
time you
seat.
did 2 half marathons in a day, it was different.
Yeah, exactly. I guess never before, but I didn't expect that level of pain, I guess I'd say.
I want to ask you about last year versus this year because last year you ran in the afternoon.
Yeah.
You were in the hills somewhere, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken, like
yeah,
Albury or
outside of
yeah,
Brandon down the Trans Canada.
on your birthday, and you came out to support, and you were like same level of fitness. I don't know, more fit, less fit. I don't know, but you ran a difficult, from what I recall, 2:14 or something, right, or 2:12.
2:15, yeah, 2:15, I think it was.
So you beat that time by 20 minutes in your first leg.
Yeah. No, I was very happy with that. And as you said, thinking back to last year, I don't know if you remember, I tend to go a little silent towards the end of the race or end of the half, or maybe around mile 10. Last year, I remember saying to you, I was like, Rob, I don't know if my legs have it in me, but we powered through again thanks to your encouragement. So
Do you think the difference was the time of day or the heat or the fitness
uh,
or
I think, you know what? I think it was the heat. Just what was it
yeah?
that day? 29,
It was 29 degrees, very hot, late in the
29, and then
afternoon.
yeah, and then the tarmac we were running on, or the tar was
The
just
Trans Canada, it was just beaming hot, right?
exactly. So I think that kind
You
of sucked.
were you were full of salt. Your whole face was just full
Oh,
of
I was
salt.
dripping. I was dripping. I sweat at the best of times. So I was like,
Dude, you were dripping yesterday.
oh yeah, I know. I tend to drip. So
That
um,
day you were really dripping.
I was melting.
I always believe anyone who listens to this podcast knows that I've said 4 p.m. versus 8 a.m. is 15 minutes. That's what I thought. That's
Yeah,
because I think so we had like perfect temperature conditions, and that morning
yeah,
leg was pretty much downhill, right?
yeah. Oh yeah,
So,
you're right. You're right. That's
I
true.
mean,
I
there were,
guess you know what? Sorry, go ahead, Rob.
no, I was going to say a little bit of downhill, but flat and a tiny bit downhill. So like easier conditions. So maybe the weather I thought was 15 and
Yeah.
maybe you gain another 5 just because you're feeling it, had a good day, whatever, right?
Yeah. I think maybe you're right. Energy, like I guess, wake up, get out of bed, have a good meal, versus last time start at 4 p.m.
Well, you
Kind
worked all
of
day. You worked all day, then you
exactly.
jumped in your car, you drove an hour, like,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
then I want to briefly touch on the second leg, the conditions of the second leg.
God.
This trail run that you and I ran. We'll call it a trail
Yeah.
run.
Yo.
Marco sent me a text. He's like, "How come you went off the trail? How come you didn't follow the suggested path that I made for you?" And I guess I was like, we'll just keep going on this trail. We're
Yeah,
bushwhacking.
that didn't make it that easier. Like lakes essentially in front of us on the trail, but that was
Huge
fun. You know,
puddles. We had to cut
obstacle.
through the bush.
Of course, yeah, an obstacle course. It was fun.
And then at mile 7, I just
Yeah.
want to ask you about this, and then we'll wrap it up. But just a short episode today. But at mile 7, you said something along the lines of, I just kind of can sense that you were debating quitting. Now, I don't know if you said anything to me, or was there ever a time that you thought you would quit?
There certainly was, and you nailed it. Right around 7 or 8 when I I was probably
Walked.
asking you too much. Well, where are we at? Where are we at?
Yeah. I'm like, James, you asked me 100 meters ago.
And then I realized that I did the math in my head, another 5 miles. So then at that stage, I was like, God Almighty, I guess I'm gonna have to tell him that I can't do it. The legs are seizing. And then you encouraged me. Thanks very much to keep on pushing. Broke it down into, which I found very helpful. Break it down in quarter miles. Exactly. Look at something in the distance and just pick it and mind over matter, right? So we just did that.
And you did it as soon as we started doing that.
Yeah,
you didn't fail once. We go
changer.
That tree, that post, that whatever, and we just jogged to that.
That was the game changer, certainly. Break it down.
That's how, when I was doing my Ironman and Trav wanted to get me going, I was like you. I was done. I was dejected. I was walking. He said, why don't we just, same thing. Let's jog to that. Let's jog to that. And that got me going. And at the end, I want to say you looked stronger than you did a mile 7.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I honestly, I felt better probably a mile 11, 10 or 11, truthfully.
Because then you were like, I'm going to make it. I'm actually going to make
it. Well, then it's just mental. You're like, hey, you know what? There's no quitting now. We're there.
Well, I told you that. I think I told you that one time. I'm like, so James, we know you're able to run this. We know you're able to do it. So it's really just mind over matter now. You're like, shut up,
totally. Like, and then in your head, you're like, you know what? Let's just get this done. You get a little bit of oomph in your step, I guess.
Yeah. So last question I want to ask you: has anything changed? Did you get maybe a little bit of bug to run, or it's not your thing?
No, I'm starting again. Definitely. Like I you know what? I miss it. It's meditative, like getting out there, especially if you get put in the AirPods and just go. And I don't know, there's something about like, if you hit a steady stride, right? And it's just like going, it feels great. Like I'm talking about the first leg, maybe not the second. For me,
but you're not going to start doing marathons.
No, we'll start with like 10K here and there, but I'm 100% starting next week. So I can thank you for that. Yeah.
Awesome. So I'm excited to hear that. I was debating with you, like, okay, how long would it take you to qualify for Boston? Like a guy like you who's already done a 121, and I thought like maybe, what did I say? 4 months, 5 months?
4 months, I think you said. Yeah.
Yeah. I think 4 months with my coach, I think you can qualify for Boston. Maybe I'm wrong. Wrong. It's just kind of what I heard.
Maybe next year. Maybe when is the Boston Marathon for 25?
It's in April. Qualifying period goes till November. So
okay.
I mean, you have to jog through summer. A better way to do it is to kind of jog through winter if you like the treadmill, and then you kind of qualify in Feb or March or something.
Yeah. Okay. Let's keep that in mind.
Yeah, I will. I'll encourage you, and I encourage you to do whatever. I had a blast yesterday. I am so thankful you were there, and you are an unbelievable athlete who did a marathon, just flew in a plane and came. So congrats for that. Thanks so much, guys. Any last words, James?
Hey, thanks a lot. Run with Rob. Come out and support, and it's a great cause.
Thanks, buddy. All right, Running Journey. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and James, hang on one sec after I hang up, and like, subscribe, and follow us wherever you catch your podcast. Thanks, guys. We'll see you in the next video.